What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you're having a fantastic day today. And today we have our next installment in the Southern Plains Model Airport series. Today we're heading out to Texas to take a look at the El Paso International Airport for you all. I really hope each and every one of you are excited for today's video. And without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Welcome to El Paso, Texas, where we pick up with our next airport here in the Southern Plains Model Airport series. I'm really excited for today's video, as El Paso is going to be one of our biggest offerings here in the Southern Plains, and we have a bunch of cool aircraft to take a look at here in today's video. And let's just go ahead and get started with the history, guys. So El Paso International Airport has been around for a very long time, almost a full century at this point, commencing operations in 1928, as this was the city of El Paso that built this airport. El Paso's had quite a unique history, including a huge presence of military ops, including the United States Army Air Force training base, and that was in, obviously, World War II, where they had a variety of aircraft, including the B-17, B-24, and B-29, all doing training simultaneously here, which was really cool. And then in the 1970s, it was time for a new terminal, so that was built. And there's been quite a bit of historical air service, starting with Standard Airlines, and they started their flights in 1928 when the airport opened, which is really cool, on a variety of different aircraft they used. And they started with servicing Los Angeles with a stop in Douglas, Tucson, and Phoenix, which was really cool. All those in Arizona. Then obviously we had a variety of airlines, and I'll kind of mention those with the aircraft types, including Western Airlines, American Airlines, Continental Airlines. Let's see who else was here. Sorry, I'm reading off the article here, and I'm just trying to not miss any of them. Yeah, American Frontier, the original Frontier was here, among many other airlines. And the aircraft types that were used throughout time includes, obviously started with DC-3s, Convair 240s, DC-6s, 707s, 727s, pretty much every aircraft that you could think of. El Paso's had a pretty solid magnitude of air service, and until airline deregulation, they had a bunch of unique services, including service to even like places like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Lawton, Oklahoma City, Lubbock, Wichita Falls, and then that was in conjunction with their big cities like Phoenix, Tucson, even like Midland. You had service to Dallas, Denver, Albuquerque, and many others as well. You even had flights at times to cities like La Paz, Puerto Vallarta, Cabo, all had service for charters and various other reasons too. So that was very unique and really cool to see that. Again, the original Frontier had a really big presence here as well. Southwest Airlines began flights in the late 1970s using their Boeing 737s to a variety of cities in Texas. And then by the time deregulation went into effect, many airlines came in here and had some sort of stint, including Eastern Airlines, Western Airlines, America West, US Air, Northwest, TWA. I'm going to do my best to pronounce this. Hopefully it's Aeroloto, and that's a feeder carrier for Aeromexico, and Lanais Argentina's Attack. I think that's the airline South America, I believe. So really cool to see all of these various carriers as well. Here's the main terminal facility that we have at the present day. So TSA is right there in the middle, and then we have Concourse A over here and the main Concourse B, where the majority of the traffic happens here at the El Paso International Airport. So now it's time to talk about our airlines and destinations. So we have a total of 15 jet bridges. A has 4 gates, and that is all American Airlines, so A1, A2, A3, and A4. And American Airlines has service to Chicago O'Hare, Los Angeles, Dallas Fort Worth, and Phoenix Sky Harbor. B1 is right there. That is the Delta Airlines gate. They serve Atlanta. And then we have B3, 4, 5, 6. Those are all the Southwest Airlines gates that are owned by Southwest, and Southwest does use a couple of other gates as well. This is gate B7 and B7A, mainly used by Southwest. They'll overnight planes here and use it when their gates are full, but you'll also see Allegiant Air Park here at 7 as well. This is the common use gate. United Airlines uses gates B8 and B8, B9, and B11, so you see those here. So I kind of have it outlined weird, but I believe that, B9, that's completely wrong. B9 and B8 are the two that they use, which are these right here. And B9 is a hybrid gate, so you have B9 and B9A, so the jet bridge swings between these two, and then this is B8. So they have 3 total stands, if that makes sense. Alaska uses B10, so there they are right there. Frontier uses gate B, this is 8. This is 8, okay. Or am I getting confused? I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying not to get confused, but there are quite a few gates here. So let me verify what the deal is here. Okay, B11. Frontier uses B11. That's that bridge right there. And then Southwest back over there once again. And also, this is supposed to be a hexagon at the end, but unfortunately I don't have an adequate structure to represent that, so apologies about that. And then as for the rest of the destinations, just want to make sure I didn't miss any gates while we're here. Southwest Airlines has the most destinations at El Paso. They have service to... this is a pretty big list. Austin, Chicago Midway begins on June 4th, so very exciting. Dallas Love Field, Denver, Houston Hobby, Las Vegas, Long Beach is a relatively new service, Los Angeles, Orlando, Phoenix Sky Harbor, San Antonio, and San Diego. So they have a very extensive lineup of routes, some of which take place during the day, others of which don't. But again, they don't have quite as much low-cost presence here. Speaking of low-cost carriers, Allegiant only serves Las Vegas, Frontier serves Las Vegas and Denver, and that is it for the low-cost. And then the only other airline to talk about are two others. United serves Houston, Denver, and Chicago, as we would expect, and then Alaska serves to Seattle. Also, we'll talk about the frequencies and mainline operations for those carriers too, but it's not indicative of what you see there. There's a little bit of variety compared to what's at the airport today. But again, we are here in March, so of course we're gonna have a little bit less than what we would in, say, a month like June, but it's honestly probably the best time to visit El Paso with the climate here. So overall, I think it's gonna work well. And we're going to start off today's airport update coming in hot. So let's just go ahead and get started over here at the A gate. So that's Alpha 4 at the end. So here we go, starting off with Alpha 3, where we have this American Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the TWA retro paint scheme. This did come into Albuquerque, or sorry, oh my gosh, wrong airport. This did come into El Paso when I was looking for flights, so this is really cool. So I thought it was too cool not to feature. This coming in from Dallas Fort Worth International Airport is American Airlines Flight 1607 arriving in. It's scheduled at 11:47 p.m. and ends up arriving in at 11:32 p.m. Good for a flight time of 1 hour and 24 minutes. Dallas Fort Worth service is served many times a day on mainly Boeing 737s and also some other Airbus aircraft. There are some regional jets too. So overall, a really great service here for El Paso, and it looks really good. Next up, A2 is also a hybrid gate. So you have A2A where this A319 is, and then the normal A2. And this gate's supposed to be able to pivot all the way between these. I know my diorama doesn't do it very well. It looks like it can't, but nevertheless, that's why the jet bridge isn't here. But nevertheless, here at A2A, we have this American Airlines Airbus A319 arriving in from the Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. It's American Airlines Flight 377. This was scheduled to arrive in at 11:58 p.m., but ends up arriving in at 11:46 p.m. Good for a flight time of 49 minutes. Another really cool service. This does have some RJs on it throughout the day, but also gets the main line earlier in the day and then on this overnight flight. So really cool to see all the capacity to Phoenix here, and obviously with how close it is to Phoenix, it makes sense to have that connection. So obviously right in between Dallas and Phoenix time for Americans, so of course they'll send capacity to both cities, which is really cool. Also A2, this is the normal A2. We have this American Eagle Embraer ERJ-175 coming in from the Los Angeles International Airport for SkyWest today. This American Airlines Flight 4877 was scheduled to arrive in at 9:35 p.m. but arrives in at 9:15 p.m. Good for a flight time of 1 hour and 23 minutes. So a very solid service here for American, and certainly makes sense for them to link this, as there's only one other carrier that has that, and we'll talk about that carrier here in a moment. And then lastly here at A1, we have this American Airlines Boeing 737-800 coming in on the earlier Dallas Fort Worth International Airport service. This American Airlines Flight 1092 arriving in at 9:58 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 10:06 p.m. arrival. So very good flight time, 1 hour 28 minutes. So pretty quick hop over to the big Dallas city in the same state, but Texas is huge obviously, and on full display here. Into Concourse B we go. Here's Delta's only service on this Boeing 737-800 operating Delta Airlines Flight 1292 coming in from the Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson International Airport. This aircraft landed in at 9:29 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 9:49 p.m. arrival. Good for a flight time just over 3 hours at 3 hours and 5 minutes. So a very impressive flight here for Delta to serve Atlanta, but very good connectivity. And obviously El Paso doesn't have a crazy amount of connections over to the East Coast, so really great that Delta does have this connection for El Paso. Very hopeful to see more Delta routes in the future. I'm sure they had some of the old Northwest ones, but at some point those fizzled out due to various logistics. So, but still glad to see Delta doing what they do best here on that ATL service. So overall, looking good for them here at gate B1. And B3, I couldn't find any carriers for, just like A4, so that's why that's vacant, but great to see that they have room to expand when they're ready. And then we have a pair of Southwest Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8s here, as Southwest owns the show here at the El Paso International Airport. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. So here at gate Bravo number 3, we have this Southwest Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8 arriving in from the Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport, as WN1147. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 12:05 a.m. the next day, and this aircraft ends up arriving in at 12:21 a.m., slightly delayed, but at flight time 45 minutes. So very good link, multiple frequencies to Phoenix, one of the biggest connections here for Southwest at El Paso. So glad to see that, and it's looking very good here at B3. And then we'll move over to our next MAX at gate B5. We have the South Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8 coming in from Las Vegas. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 11:25 p.m., but ends up arriving in at 11:10 p.m. Good for a flight time of 1 hour and 11 minutes. All flights from this update come from Sunday, February 9th, 2024, with the exception of a few. So very cool to see this right here, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Okay, once again, gate B7 is a hybrid gate, so you have B7A right here and B7, so obviously the bridge pivots between these two, and this one looks a little bit better in my update, so that's certainly nice. But nevertheless, let's take a look here at gate B7, where we have here at the A stand the Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800, which is coming in to overnight from the Austin Bertram International Airport. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 9:20 p.m., but it's arriving at 9:07 p.m. Good for a flight time of 1 hour and 23 minutes, so a very ahead of schedule flight. Also, I want to mention they don't overnight, but there are very consistent flights to Los Angeles, San Diego, Long Beach, and those airports. Orlando's during the summer, so that's really cool. It was served previously and it's coming back this summer, so that's awesome. And again, Chicago Midway will be a new service, so I think that's a huge connection considering that United's kind of wishy-washy when they serve it, and Americans we'll take a look at here in a moment, which is fantastic. And trying to think if I missed a city or two. I think I got the majority. San Antonio is another really cool service here. So overall, looking very good for those aircraft, and certainly glad to see the progression of these routes here at the El Paso International Airport. Let me go ahead and bounce around to the other side where we'll take a look at our next set of aircraft. So let's go ahead and do just that. Okay, so over here at B7, we have this Allegiant Air Airbus A319, which is coming in from the Las Vegas International Airport. I don't have it from this day because they're just literally starting this on March 1st, so it is back, which is fantastic. I'm going to take the guess that this aircraft, or it's scheduled to arrive in at 5 p.m., so hopefully it arrives in early, but nevertheless, great to see Allegiant. I think they've only ever had Las Vegas. I don't think they've ever had any other routes, so yeah, it makes sense that they have done pretty well with Vegas, and who knows, maybe they'll expand beyond Las Vegas in the future. We'll have to see, but nevertheless, looking good for this particular aircraft here on this particular day. So looking very good for that aircraft right there. And here at gate B8, we have this United Airlines, operated by Mesa Airlines, CRJ-900, arriving in from Houston George Bush Intercontinental Airport. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 9:15 p.m., but ends up arriving in at 8:50 p.m., good for a flight time of 1 hour and 39 minutes. And what else was I going to mention here? I was kind of surprised not to see Houston mainline, but I'm sure it's here in the summer, even though it's not scheduled for this summer yet, which is kind of interesting. So the mainline a little inconsistent here at El Paso, but nevertheless, they're linking the cities, which is what matters. So very good job there by them. And really cool to finally get this double view. Thank you so much, TBA AP, for doing a great job here on the Mesa Airlines Gray CRJ-900 Custom right here. So here we are at A9A, where we have this Mesa Airlines CRJ-900 for United Express, of course, coming in from Denver International Airport, excuse me, my goodness. This aircraft's operating UA 6211, scheduled to arrive in at 10:21 p.m. and ends up arriving very late at 11:42 p.m., over an hour and a half delayed on a 1 hour and 20 minute flight time. So yeah, one of the critical links here to Denver. We have 3 airlines serving the city, so very great to see United doing what they do best, and we're going to get to see their next example of that here. Let me see if I can get a good view. Might as well should come over for the lighting, why not? And here we have the United Airlines Airbus A320. This aircraft's coming in from the Denver International Airport today here at B9. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 1:25 p.m., but ends up arriving in at 1:01 p.m., good for a flight time of 1 hour and 21 minutes. So this makes some sense because there's not as many frequencies, so they end up just putting it on bigger aircraft, which I think makes sense. And it would not surprise me in the summer if they do have the overnight as a mainline aircraft. So glad to see United mainline here at El Paso in this capacity, and very great to see what they're doing here with this aircraft. Let's bounce over to the other side. We're here at gate B10. We have this Alaska operated by, I believe this is a SkyWest flight, Embraer ERJ-175, arriving in from Seattle Tacoma International Airport. This aircraft was AS2003, scheduled to arrive in at 6:14 p.m. ends up arriving in at 5:51 p.m. good for flight time of 2 hours and 45 minutes. We're going from way far north to way far south, so that's why this flight is so long. But yeah, really cool link. Again, this has been 737s pretty consistently previously. Just a 175 for the winner here, which is completely okay. So yeah, excited to see the main line back here for El Paso, but nevertheless looking good for this Chester, and glad to see him at El Paso. A very nice link here considering the region. So very awesome that they've done great here at El Paso to make that service a reality, and they've done a great job. And the next aircraft we're going to take a look at here, Gate B11, we have this Frontier Airbus A320neo Baja the Whale Shark. Again, Frontier serves 2 destinations, so we're going to try to use both of them here. So this aircraft's coming in from Las Vegas as F92150. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 6:33 p.m., but it ends up arriving in at 6:13 p.m. good for a flight time of 1 hour and 11 minutes. And just to keep all the destinations in here, would have took too long to do with Southwest. But this aircraft's going to be going out to Denver as, let's see, let me get the information here real quick, apologies, as F92262. This aircraft was scheduled to depart at 3:27 p.m., but ends up departing at 3:38 p.m. good for a flight time 1 hour and 30 minutes, and does arrive early. So great to see that. Awesome here that Frontier has 2 great destinations, and they're certainly very much contributing to the success of the low-cost market here at El Paso, and they're pretty much the big portion there is Allegiant only has 2 weekly flights to complement that, so very nice to get to see that right here. And last but certainly not least, before we get into our taxiing aircraft, we have 2 beautiful Southwest Boeing 737-700s hanging out over here. I'm going to go ahead and give some of the destinations that we don't normally get to see in these videos, so let me go ahead and do that. So we're going to start right here at B6. It's actually parked at B6 anyway, so how perfect is that? With this Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-700 coming in from San Diego, California is WN988. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive at 4:10 p.m., but ends up arriving in at 3:52 p.m. good for a flight time of 1 hour and 12 minutes. A very cool link for Southwest here, but it makes sense considering that you're not going to see this airport getting service like St. Louis and others like that, even though they are getting Chicago Midway. So very good Southwest stops. They've really developed a Southwestern focus here at El Paso. Get it? But anyways, they've done a really good job, and that's really cool to see. So very happy for El Paso in that regard, and I think it makes a bunch of sense to continue to keep it that way here at the airport. And then here at Gate 4, we have the Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-700 arriving in from Long Beach, California. This aircraft is operating WN2221, arriving in at 3:20 p.m., and then it ended up arriving at 2:57 p.m., so definitely ahead of schedule there for a flight time of 1 hour and 18 minutes. Again, those routes are really cool, along with San Antonio, Orlando, which is coming back, Chicago Midway, and the others that El Paso facilitates. So that's really cool to say the least. Okay, into our taxiing aircraft. We have a UPS Boeing 767-300 freighter. This aircraft is arriving in from the Albuquerque Sunport International Airport. I could not help but not feature that. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in, where was it? Here it is, at 6:58 p.m. and it hasn't took off yet, so I can't tell you when, but this is from Monday, February 19th. So anyway, looking really good on that aircraft though, and certainly very glad to see that. Taxiing out for departure, we have this American Eagle Embraer ERJ-175, which is going to be conducting the service today out to Chicago O'Hare International Airport, which is a really cool daily service that American Airlines has here at El Paso. This aircraft was scheduled to depart at, let's take a look. You gotta get the iPad to load here. This aircraft was scheduled to depart at 11:39 p.m., but ends up departing at 11:43 a.m., and it ended up making a flight time 2 hours and 42 minutes, so it's certainly a hot girl hike for that service to Chicago, but a very critical one here at El Paso, and very glad to see that they're doing a great job with that, so that's certainly awesome to see. El Paso is also known for a very unique set of visitors, and that's what I have here with this Royal Atlantic MD-80, which is coming in from, I can't talk today, Laredo, sorry. But really cool to see all the really cool planes they get. They get like Eastern 777s, Royal Atlantic MD-80s, USA Jet MD-80s all the time, and so on and so forth. So they get quite a unique array of aircraft, so I couldn't help but feature this one in today's video because why not? So that's really cool. So yeah, that is El Paso. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what the airport layout looks like since I have it here on my iPad. So here is the concourse that you saw. So we are looking at it from pretty much this perspective too. Here's a Phoenix American CRJ-700 as of the time recording, taxiing in from Phoenix. That's really cool, or just pushing back rather. And then they have 2 really long runways right here. I believe this one's dormant, but you can see these 2 really long runways. I think this is 321, and then this should be like 927, or however that's designated. So overall looking really good here at El Paso, and it's on the east side of town right here. So overall it looks really good, and it's really awesome to see the service there for El Paso. So yeah, I really hope you all enjoyed this video. This is one of our bigger airports that we got to take a look at today. But yeah, they have a really good air service. Let's see how many passengers they have here. So they had somewhere in the ballpark. Let me see if I can find. They don't have a graph on here, which is very unfortunate. Or I would have told you how many yearly passengers they got in 2023. Oh, it's not available, unfortunately. That's very unfortunate. But top city is Dallas-Fort Worth with 330,000. And then it goes Phoenix, Denver, Love Field. Austin is really high on this list. That's really cool. Las Vegas, Hobby, Houston Intercontinental, Los Angeles, Atlanta. And then the largest airline, Southwest, by a long shot, 50%. That's not even close. And then American Airlines, the mainline brand, comes in at almost 20%, and then everybody falls down under that. So, yeah, Southwest certainly carries the majority of the traffic here at El Paso, and they have quite a few routes, which is really cool. Certainly, absolutely love that Delta service, along with what American does here, and then United's got a pretty good presence. Frontier, of course, making their moves. Allegiant also with their lately Vegas service. Yeah, all this looked really good. Certainly glad to check this out today, and I really hope you all enjoyed this. Next month, we'll be going to a little bit smaller of an airport, but one that I've been very excited to cover. So I'm looking very forward to it, and I hope each and every one of you are as well. But nevertheless, that'll do for El Paso today, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. My name is Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Test process. Do you love you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.